everyone, Renee here. In this video, I'm going to share my summer hat collection and also talk a bit about how I choose my hats to make sure that I get the maximum protection. They play an even more crucial role for me for sun protection than sunscreen. In the hierarchy of sun defense, the first line of defense is, of course, just being indoors under cover, under physical shade. The second line of defense are my hats. Third line of defense is sunscreen and anything else skincare related that helps protect the skin, like antioxidants. Not all hats are equal, so I've got some really good tips for you when it comes to finding your ideal and a really good hat. And of course, I'll be sharing what I tend to avoid as well. First, I have to mention UPF rating. So UPF stands for ultraviolet protection factor. It measures how much protection a material will offer against UV rays. The most common and I would say standard rating that you find is UPF 50+. This blocks out 98% of UV rays from penetrating the material. I have started to see though UPF 80 and UPF 100 as well. It's at this point still new and rare. If there's no UPF rating and you have to choose a hat, and I've done that before on holiday where last minute I'm caught off guard and I need to get a hat, then these are a few choices you want to be cognizant of making. Color is an intuitive one. Darker colors are just better at blocking out and absorbing UV rays as opposed to lighter colors. Bright colors also tend to be more effective at blocking than their pastel counterparts. So a bright red, bright pink would be better than like a petal pink. This was actually a study conducted in Spain. Darker and intense colors just had better UV protection. But the color that tested the best out of all of them was actually dark blue. Navy blue is the best color to wear in the sun. Another intuitive factor would be how thick the material or fabric is or how tightly woven. Most straw hats will just fail this test, especially if they're one of those loosely weaved raffia hats. All you have to do is put the hat on and see if there are dots of sunlight all over your face. I mean, unless you really like freckles, stay away from those. There are some great fabrics that are used now in UPF wear that are not just super lightweight, in fact, practically weightless, but they're also breathable without leaving any space on the surface for UV to penetrate. Next would be shape and functional design. So I'm just going to show you all of my favorites. I want to talk about this hat first because it's probably my personal favorite. It was an investment, but I got this 20 some years ago and it still looks brand new. It is the gold standard, the Eric Javits Hampton's hat. This is the classic floppy. Eric Javits and Helen Kaminsky, they're like the OGs for UPF 50 hats. They're such good quality, and like I said, I got this over 20 years ago, and we have been through things. We have traveled from camping in Bedouin deserts to like upscale resorts. This kind of fits every occasion and every situation. This is the most ideal basic shape. This brim length is 4.5 inches. To me, it is ideal, but also the widest that I will go. I've tried a wider brim length, and even though the idea is nice, it really is not practical at all because I found myself not able to see when I'm walking in front of me. Sometimes this kind of flops down, doesn't always stay up, but also the worst, probably the most problematic part is whenever there is wind, this becomes aerodynamic. But yeah, anything wider than 4.5 inches is just awkward. A more affordable version that I love, same shape, with a 3.5-inch brim. Brim span of 3 to 4.5 inches is my ideal range. This is UPF 80. This also has a chin strap if you choose to use it. I tend not to use these. Sometimes they do come in handy. This one is quite an elegant one, and you can also adjust the hat size, which is always really handy. It actually fits me really comfortably. It's also packable, which is a huge plus. Probably the hat that you see me wearing the most, it's in pretty much every picture of me wearing a hat in the summer, is the fedora. This one is from Eric Javits, which of course I absolutely love. But the one that I probably wear the most is this one. This is also UPF 50. I got this from Amazon. And the advantage to this one is that it's not so precious. So when I go away on vacation, I am always wearing this one. I especially love a wide brim fedora, which both of these are. Wide enough to sufficiently give good coverage around my face. Recently, a good friend of mine who's probably a bigger skin enthusiast than I am sent me a photo. This photo was kind of the catalyst that inspired me to do this video. And she's always wearing one of those roll-up visors when she's outdoors. She also has just like pure porcelain skin. So in this photo, she's showing me the side of her face, and this area is pigmented. And it turned out it came from wearing the visor, because depending on the time of day, the visor would have like a cutoff. They taper as they go towards the sides of your face. And so you can see very clearly there's this line of demarcation, and everything underneath it was a darker skin tone. So it's become really important that a hat will cover the sides of my face. So I don't usually like a visor because I like the top of my head to have some coverage, but sometimes they come in really handy, especially for incidental exposure, like if I'm just going to cross the street to go somewhere. And when you have melasma, you realize that even 5 minutes can make all the difference. It can really darken things. This visor is the real deal. I mean, the whole purpose is to really protect you from the sun. No light is coming through this shield. And then the shape is everything. Nothing is coming through. It's protecting my jowls, the sides of my face. I can still see and walk, but in the direct sunlight, this puts me under like the darkest shade. Even as I'm talking, there's an echo. I can hear an echo. It's like being in a little cave. This is the ultimate like sun protection, keep your melasma at bay. You can even roll it up. There's an elastic band to keep it rolled. I bought this in a store when I was in Hong Kong, so I'm going to try my best to find an alternative that is as close as possible. These are a hybrid of regular hats and baseball hats, and I kind of love the bonnet shape, but less praise be. This doesn't state a UPF rating, but it's solid. They're longer down the sides of the face, which actually gives better sun protection. And then I like that there's nothing in the back. And this hat in particular has wire, so you can even manipulate it any way you want. The hat brim is serious, but then this part of the hat is super, super lightweight and breathable. And it's like a very thin, weightless linen. So it's so nice during the summer. Of course, I have to get this lighter version of it as well, also UPF 50. It's just for different occasions. Once I really like a shape, I kind of commit to it. You've got to have some regular cotton hats. They are, after all, the most travel friendly and amongst the lightest. I love this hat from Wallaroo. They're heavily focused on UPF 50 hats. As you can imagine, they are based in Australia. This one is just your classic. It's called Casual Traveler, and it is so lightweight. It is obviously like you can pack this in a small purse and it comes out and it won't be wrinkled. Even though light colors are probably not as effective as dark colors, this is UPF 50. So, and sometimes I just love a white hat. And with these fabric hats, you can really kind of manipulate them any way you want. You can cover the sides of your face when you need to. They're malleable. They look nice. You could put the back up so it's like cooler. But yeah, you can just do anything with these. You can adjust the size. The huge upside to these kind of hats are they also do not give you hat head. They are so light. You can wear them for a long time. Obviously, if you're sweating profusely, that's a different story. But otherwise, when I remove them, my hairline is still good. And this has kind of become one of those classic hat styles for summer, the scrunchie. I call it the ribbon hat. This is my go-to in any situation where I'm going to be swimming. It's just so lightweight, so comfortable. I chose a darker color, but there are other beautiful colors. Again, this is adjustable, and there is a very light wire on the edge of the brim, so you can twist and turn this. I want to mention what I don't really like that much. This may be an unpopular opinion, but it's these kind of visors, the Korean ajuma visor. This is a protective visor. This is the shorter version. I even have one that goes all the way down here. There was a time that I just loved this, and I still do conceptually. I just find myself never wearing it because I don't like the experience. Forget what it looks like conceptually. This is great. I have no problem walking outside like this. One of the biggest issues for me, and I have tried many of these, is that this part, no matter what, after about 20 minutes, starts giving me a really, really bad headache. I think the band just needs to have quite a hard grip, and it's just too much for my head. Also, to really get the protection I want, this part needs to be down. So I'm essentially walking around looking through this plastic part here, which always has like a little bit of distortion. So when I'm walking around, I start feeling nauseous. Also, when the shield is down, there's always going to be this gap right here, which lets in a whole beam of sunlight across my head or somewhere else down on my face, depending where the sun is at. To get rid of that, I have to have the visor shield up. So yeah. This also doesn't store or pack too well either. So if at any point of the day I'm not using it, I'll have to hold on to it rather than put it, or I just have to have a big bag to put it in. So that's it, everyone. Those are my favorite hats for summer. I hope you found this helpful. Thank you so much for watching. And until next time, I'm wishing you great skin health. Bye.